I'm Victoria Jane, and this is GigPigs from the studio. And I have got the wonderful Benjamin Francis Leftwich with me right now,
Okay.
looking all cosy.
Yeah, I'm cozy. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to have you up north and on
Thanks.
tour.
Yeah, it's good to be here. I like it up north.
Do you? What's your favourite thing about north?
People smile.
Oh, I love that.
People
Yeah.
smile and they say hello to you and stuff. It's not like that where I'm living right now. So
Oh gosh,
yeah, it's nice. It's friendly.
you got to spend more time up there
I
then.
really do when I'm from here. So I'll definitely move back one day.
I know. Like, talk to me about being from York. Actually, like, what was it like growing up? What was the musical scene like? How did you even get influenced?
Yeah.
Growing up.
I mean, York's amazing. It kind of looks like Hogsmeade, or
Yeah,
like
it does.
or Hogwarts or something, and it's very like safe, calm place, So I was obviously very blessed to grow up there. But it does have a really cool, music scene, and
Yeah.
guys like there's a guy called Chris Helm who was he was in a band called the Seahorses, and they've got a load of like open mic nights and stuff. And Chris used to run this night called Num Num Club with a few other people in town. And when you're 16, 17-year-old kind of shy kid trying to get into music, and you get the co-signing of who you see and who I still see as, to an extent, as legends of the city, it means a lot. So like there's definitely like there was a real singer-songwriter scene there, like I know my tour manager Brad would know, and and it's been it was, I don't think I'd have had the confidence in my writing or performing if I hadn't been like co-signed by people who I looked up to, like, I mean, I could go on for an hour, but like Chris Helm, David Ward McLean, Cardboard Radio, Colour of Fire, Hope and Social over from Leeds, Hayley Hutchinson, Sam Forrest, and more recently, like new bands coming through like The Howl and the Hum, and a lady called Nadia Kadek from Leeds, who I'm writing with a bit. She's great. So I felt
You feel
support.
connected, yeah.
Yeah, and I've always made a point of bringing. I did one tour in 2016 where I had like a different artist from York
That's so
opening
good.
every night for like 40 nights. So there's that much scope,
I think it's good that you did that as well. I think a lot of artists, when they get to a certain point of success, like yourself, they don't reconnect with where they're from. They don't, connect back to the artists that are emerging and coming through. Like,
Yeah, I think that can happen with some people, and look, I try not to throw any cats amongst any pigeons, but I even like rehearsing for this tour on me and Squire, who I'm playing with, and who's one of my close creative brothers. I made the call of going and rehearsing at a space in York, in the countryside, just outside of York in Strensel, because I knew that the spirit was there. It doesn't have the nicest gear in the world or anything like this, but it's like the spirit was there. And, I'm a Leeds fan, so I go back to York a lot, and like I'll stay in York before the games, and catch up with people. And it's, like family and friends is really everything to me. But it took me a long time to remember that, because of course, when you, especially this game is wild because it makes young people the center of the universe, and before they've realized it, they're like, it's like, oh fuck, where's my heart gone,
You're in it.
yeah, strap in.
I know. How do you deal with, you talked about young people being just in it. How do you deal with balancing everything and, music and family life and friends and then taking time to actually like recharge and get that creativity back as well?
Yeah, I dealt with it really badly for a long time, and I got burnt out, and it's well, I don't know if documented is the right word. That makes me sound like some kind of historical figure, which I'm definitely not. Thank God for that. But I kind of got caught up in the bondage of self, for a long, especially on that first album, and suddenly these songs that I'd made in my bedroom with my friends, where people from all over the world were saying, "Oh my God, these songs have changed my life." Songs like Atlas Hands and Shine and stuff, and we were touring around the world, and I woke up after touring for 3 years in a nice flat in London with a hole in my heart, and I kept thinking that I thought that my own thinking could get me well, and that's where I went wrong. And so, in answer to your question, I've learned how to deal with the highs and the lows of this game the best I can through being humbled by the kind of my own behaviors, you know, and my own thinking. And a practical answer to that question would be you know, I have a really solid kind of, it sounds kind of bait, but like I have a solid, you know, routine that I try and stick to every day. You know, I'm in prayer a lot. I do my best to like, you know, look inwards, and I'm part of a deal, you know, a fellowship with other people where we all stay like accountable and get honest and work these certain things that we do to get our hands off the wheel of our own life, you know, because I'm bad at managing my own life, you know, and
We all are.
and I found a way to like get new management, you know, and I don't mean actual music managers. But last time I said that in an interview, my manager was like, "Oh, you're talking about getting new management, firing me live on air," you know.
Now I get what you mean.
You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I do it really imperfectly. I have no intention of being a, you know, like writing a memoir or being a sober guru or being like starting a podcast or anything like that.
Yeah.
Fair play to anyone who does that. You know, I know that stuff can be useful to lots of people, but talking less, you know what I mean? I'm around a lot of people a lot, and from big stars to new artists, and I've been lucky to fall into this writing game, you know, and I just like I just don't want to be in the middle of my own life, you know. So anyway, I've ranted on a bit there.
No, it makes
Can't
sense.
remember what the question was.
It makes sense. But you just touched on like how you've had experience with prayer as well. Like, did your relationship with faith go back to a young age? Because it's interesting you said that, because I do sense that when I listen to your music.
Yeah.
And I do think you can tell when someone does have that in their life, and I could instantly tell.
Well, thanks for saying that. No, I no, I didn't. I grew up as someone who didn't know about any of that stuff, and I still don't. The less I know about it, the better. You know, like for me, the only thing I need to know about God is that I'm not it. You know, and yeah, I came to a point in my life, you know, where I was just like a human hurricane, you know, and I used to judge all that stuff. You know, I used to judge. I was the last to know that I was basically judging the whole world. And I judged the forest by the ugliness of some of the trees, you know. And then like, just got too much. So I just try it, you know. I like getting on my knees and asking for help. And I'm on my own journey with that stuff. And I love everyone, you know, who I meet, and try and be useful. And I do that imperfectly. But it is weird because I definitely remember back in the day, especially on that first album, some of the lyrics, and I'd never read any, you know, from across the different faiths, like literature or like scripture or anything like that at that point. But I remember getting a lot of comments from people who were like, "Oh, this reminds me of this part of my faith," or whatever. And I was just kind of like, "Oh, this,"
Wow.
I don't know. I thought it was weird, you know. I was just like a young kid. I kind of, you know, judged the world, and yeah, I think for me that's the most important thing in my life. You know, my relationship with God is the most important thing in my life, and with my vapes, which I need to put in my pocket, but my vapes need to get in the bin at some point. It's definitely not a great vibe. No,
I love that. I love that that is so like a staple part of your life at the moment, and like I said, you can definitely sense that and feel that connectedness to it in your music. I wanted to move on to something that's also happening right now, which is the tour.
We're on
in
tour.
In the middle of it right now. How has it been so far? And how has it been different to the past tours that you've done? Because you've obviously you've gigged a lot. You've done tours before.
Yeah. So we're 3 shows in. We've played in, depending on when this what we're talking about goes live, just use your imagination. I was looking at the light as if that was a camera for a second, but I was like, that's not a camera. And then I blind myself here. Yeah, we're 3 shows in. We played in Leeds, Kendal, and Edinburgh, and it's really beautiful so far. I've done so many different tours. You know, my brother over here, Jamie Squire, has been joining us on tour, and we've been writing together for a couple of years and been in all kinds of rooms and all kinds of environments, from like super creative to super intense, and from with stars to new people and all this stuff, you know. And we're making a new sound together that I haven't made on tour before, because I've toured solo for so long and I had a band back in the day. So it's great. I love doing it, you know, but it's a different thing, you know, it's a different thing when you've done it for so long. Not that I'm a pro or anything, but I have so much to learn still. But it's a different kind of practice. It's not the same. When you first go out and like when I first went on tour, like my mate from college, we were like a year out of college, and we were like suddenly like in a tour bus, like, you know, we didn't know what it meant to, like, you know, like wash our clothes or like be organized or like have a suitcase. It would just be like a plastic bag with all our clothes in it for like 2 months.
Just got whipped into shape.
Yeah, totally. We got whipped into shape for sure by ourselves, and it's a calm thing now. You know, I'm with one of my best friends, tour manages me, and we again, kind of like what we were talking about 2 questions ago. Like, I am only human. I don't want to pretend or fake to anyone that I don't get like judgy or lonely or angry or hard or tired or all human things. I'm suspicious of someone when they say, "Oh yeah, I'm perfect." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm human and broken and all that stuff. And but one thing that's been helpful for me is that, like, because my touring life has been so wavy and we've played so many festivals over the years, and it's kind of like goes up and down. We go around the world. One night I'll be playing to loads of people, and I've literally played to 2 people in Saskatoon 3 years ago. And it's like one of my favorite shows ever. Saskatoon. I think it's in Canada.
I don't think I've heard of that place.
Yeah, it's a real place. And you know, there was a couple sat on a table. I just like go and like play the set unplugged. Like I like doing that. You know, I think my manager probably thinks I'm a bit crazy, but when I call him, I'm like, that was the best show ever. But I think he's crazy. You know, like I have fun. I love playing music. I was freely given this gift and allowed time to work on it through, you know, time to juice it up through, you know, privilege and circumstance. And so we play for the. I try and play for the one person in the room who needs to hear it. That's what I pray for before I go on. Like the other night in Kendall, I was feeling a bit wavy during the day, and you know, it's kind of a bigger room, and I was like, you know, my ego kicks in. I walk on, me and Jamie walk on, there's like a mum on the front row, and she's got like a 7-year-old kid with her, and this young lad just like stood there, just like looking at it, and as soon as I see that, I'm like, this is for you. You know, I didn't embarrass him and say, this is for you, you know.
But you thought
you know what I'm saying? It's just like I just got to get myself out of the way. So for me, that's useful. And I don't, maybe that if there are any singers or performers watching, if you imagine getting on stage like getting on a plane, you know, once a plane takes off, there's no getting off. You know what I'm saying? So you may as well enjoy the ride. And sometimes I like to take a pot noodle with me on the plane, so I've got some good. I don't know about good food, but like food I like. You know what I'm saying? So you get the hot water. Can I get the hot water? Put it in the pot noodle. You've got some seasons downloaded. For me, The Sopranos. I'm gonna do Marvelous Mrs. Maisel next. The little neck pillow. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You make yourself comfy.
You've got to.
Yeah, when they bring the little, what they call the salty things, pretzels.
Oh,
when they bring the pretzels
the
around the little bags, ask for a few. You know what I mean? Strap in for the long night.
Yeah.
Could be a 12-hour flight.
Yeah.
You know, I have a change of pants in my bag, some socks. You know, if it's a long flight to Australia.
What happens when you've forgot the pot noodle? When you're having a bad flight, like. What, have you ever had any? Then you're screwed.
Then you're screwed.
Well,
you know, like then it's like it's not a fun flight. You know, you know what I'm saying. So like I've got to get myself ready for the flight.
Yeah. What happens when a gig doesn't go to plan? Like, have you ever had?
Yeah, totally.
How do you get back? Like, because obviously the show must go on. Like.
Yeah, that's what I mean. The show must go on is the perfect way of putting it with the flight thing. It happens during most gigs I do. You know, I'm not like perfect with this, but I can tell, because I've done it so much, I can tell when my head's mentally and emotionally is leaving the song. And it's kind of I guess it's kind of a bit intense for me to do it, but I have people in mind when I'm singing the songs. I have like old friends who are in trouble or this or that, or, you know, ex-partners or family members or whatever. And I'm thinking of them when I'm singing the song. Like I would never tell anyone, but I know you know, we just did the live session. I know who I'm thinking of when I'm singing Tillicum, or I know who I'm thinking of when I'm singing New York. And sometimes it's myself, sometimes it's a younger version of myself. So I have that to keep me surrendered. Sorry, I just hit the mic. I haven't ruined it, have I? Okay.
It's cool.
And if I feel myself drifting away, or like looking around the room, or getting distracted by something, which I can get distracted, I try and get my heart and my head back into that place, but this is a new thing for me. I'm not saying this is somebody who's like, a seasoned
Performer.
you know, or at least a seasoned professional. I was unprofessional for so long, and I don't even love the word professional. I think the whole thing is spirit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like I have a place where I go where I'm asked to go to places and sing, and sometimes people go there. So I have things I can do to get back in it. But there's funny stories from tour, of course. You know, and sometimes the sound is off or whatever. Or I've seen all kinds of, you know, people doing human things from the stage. I won't go into too much detail, but basically everything you can imagine.
Yeah.
It is what it is, you know. And also, like me and my brothers on stage with me or whoever, it's like we have a different perspective on what's going on. Most people there don't. They're not like everyone in this room is in the music industry. Do you know what I mean? They're just like, oh, me and my partner used to listen to one of your songs. We were having a date night. We're coming down to a gig.
Yeah.
You play us some songs, you know. So it ain't that deep either.
It's not that. It's not what you're thinking in your head. Everyone's not thinking that.
Totally.
100%.
But I know all performers would relate to that.
Gosh. Well, you've got a way with words, I think, and you know you're a very gifted songwriter.
Thank you.
I don't know if you've always known that from an early age, but I think there's something about the way your words are so comfortable to the ear. And I think you have a sense of vulnerability in every song that you write. What's been the feedback that you've got over the years songwriting? Like what stuff do people love the most about your songwriting, and what do you love the most about your own songwriting?
That's a lovely question. Thank you so much. I mean, when I'm off beam, I'm a very fear-based person, you know. So I don't want to. I definitely wasn't there as like a 5-year-old sitting at the piano going like, I am an amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
You know, it's been the opposite for me. Anyone who's around me closely kind of knows that I can, when I'm off beam or not prayed up, I'm kind of like in fear, you know, and it's no way to live. So thankfully, it's not really like that a lot of the time now. But I'm not one to like repost this stuff and put it on the internet. But I've had it, you know. You do feel it when someone messages you and goes like, I've had it a few times, you know, oh, your music saved my life, you know, or I wanted to die and I put this on, or you were with me in the hospital, or you were with me through this, or through this, or through this, or people get married to it, you know, and people play it at people's funerals. And that's really the ultimate compliment, you know, to really soundtrack someone's...
a moment.
Someone's brokenness, you know, so that's why we do it. And that's, back to the last question, that's the kind of headspace I try and get when I'm performing, you know, because someone once described recently, I don't know if I should say this, he described that people in the music industry can become, and he was saying it about me back in the day, institutionally self-centered. And it was hardcore, and I just thought, yeah, you're exactly right. You know what I mean? Just like, totally. So just like wrapped up in self. We all know brothers like that. Doesn't mean they're not God's kids or they're bad people or whatever, but it's just like, for me, I have no intention of telling anyone else what to do, but, you know, I got to shake it off sometimes, but I just got to get out of the way and, I love getting to do it, but in answer to your question about songwriting, the way I see it is, I get sent songs. I've been freely given a gift, which is undeserved and unmerited, and it's a responsibility to use it and try and be useful to others with it. And for as long as, you know, you know, the heavens see fit, it's what I'll do, and then may come a point when that's not the case, you know. My dream, especially with DirtyHit, and me and you know Jamie have the same manager. It's like my dream is to, not dream, but my hope is that when it's time for me to not make records anymore, that me and my manager and, you know, the boss man at DirtyHit sit down together and go, shake hands and go, thanks, gentlemen, you know.
Yeah, I think
just
that
like,
will definitely go.
Do you know what I mean? And like leave it and just go like, cool, enough. You know what I mean? Like I'm starting to write some new songs. I feel like I've still got something to say, but also I've fallen into this co-writing game with other artists in the past few years, which has been like beyond my expectations.
I was going to touch on that, yeah, because we was talking before, and you have a selflessness when it comes to writing for others as well. I think a lot of artists like to have their songs to themselves and not write for others. So how has the co-writing been? How has writing for others been?
Yeah, it's been absolutely amazing, and I'm careful with my words in it as well, because I know what you mean, and I know anyone else in this room would say it like that, writing for others, but I see it as writing with. I think that's an important word, writing with others. You know, I've tried once writing a song, and I've tried it a few times, but writing for others. You know what I mean? I remember Rita Ora A&R called me up on a Friday once and said, we need a song for Monday. Can you have a go at writing a song over a beat? And she was like, and nothing too sad and morose. And I'm thinking, I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I suck at writing a song for someone else. I'm good when I'm in the room with. I don't want to sit here and reel off all the artists that I've worked with, which is a lot. But I'm good when they're in charge. You know, I say that to artists a lot in the room, like, you're captain. You know, including someone who's brand new to it. Yeah, sure, I might have an idea up my sleeve, and once you get a relationship going, you can bounce, and once the ego is out the way, you know, Squire could send me some chords, I'd be like, I love that, let's do, you know, whole verse, cool, done, you know, or vice versa, but I have always loved doing that, you know, and for me, that game is just like constant ego deflation, you know, because I'm, like me, artists have egos, you know, I have an ego as well. If I didn't have one, I wouldn't notice that other people have one, you know, so it's like getting out of the way and just being like, okay, what are you doing here? I know that it's all right to suck. Plenty of I've got a Dropbox with 1,000 songs in it or something. Most of them will never come out. Most of them should never come out. You know, there's some really bad songs in there, and I'm good. I mean, I'll drop one name just because I love her so much. Like Holly Humberston, for example, who I just love so much. She's become a friend of mine. It's a long game. I met her manager 11 years ago when I was 21, playing the first ever Barn on the Farm Festival. Then I meet Holly backstage at Barn in 2019. She's that most humble, talented person in the world. And then me and her and my brother Rob Milton get in a room together, and me and Rob play FIFA together every night on the internet on our PS5 on the same team. So yeah, we should probably get a life at some point. But and we talk about the sessions and stuff. And Holly comes in, she's like, yeah, I want to write about this. This is my melody and chord. It's like, sometimes my job in those rooms is to say nothing at all. Do you know what I mean? Just to like bounce. And,
ideas and thoughts. And,
if that. And then you get other people come in like big, like American energies. No shade on the Americans. I love Americans. But you know, everyone's different. And my role is just to, any songwriters listening will know what I'm saying. But I love doing that. You know, I love the forced anonymity of it, and I love the. I think it's right that the kids are in charge now. You know, I know there's this whole discourse about the internet and TikTok, and I'm all for it, man. You know what I mean? Like my friend Katie Gregson McLeod, who I do bits with. You know, she writes a song called Complex, puts it on the internet, goes to sleep, wakes up, it's got 8 million plays.
Amazing.
You know what I'm saying? People crying their eyes out to it, soundtracking their weddings and all this stuff, and more power to her. So like, I have a lot to learn from those young human beings, you know, and it's great that I'm seen to be trusted by a lot of them.
And a lot of people can learn from you. I mean, you just spoke about having a Dropbox full of songs that may never see the light of day. Let's talk about some of the songs that have seen the light of day, though. 4 albums behind you. This is the 5th album that's out now. How does it feel to actually have a new body of work out to the world? And you perform New York in the From the Studio live session. What's so special about New York and some of the other songs that have made the album?
I forgot that it was my 5th album. I was like, is it my 5th? I really appreciate that you know that, by the way.
Yeah.
I did an interview the other day, and I don't get mad anymore, but I did an interview, and at the end of the interview, this guy went, great talking to you, and good luck with the 2nd album.
Oh, really? Well, I won't comment, but yeah.
But yeah, no, it doesn't matter. I'm not, you know, it's just funny. I appreciate you.
Thank you.
I wrote loads more than I needed for it. I started, again, it's a grace thing. I got dragged into a Spotify writing camp thing in 2019 that I didn't want to go to for my own fear. No fault of Spotify or anyone else's. My manager was like, you should go. you're friends with the people at Spotify and they're fans of your music. And I turn up, I meet a producer called Jimmy Hogarth on the first night. Jimmy's produced Amy Winehouse and Sia and Paolo and the new Anoni record. We become friends. We start writing together with a lot of different artists. We start having songs come out. Squire and I and Jimmy have done some stuff with other brothers of ours. And then me and Jimmy start making music together and demoing stuff. And I'm like, wow, I love Jimmy's production. And the first 2 songs we wrote for this album were a song called I'm Always Saying Sorry and a song called Some Things Break. And with Jimmy and our friend John Green. And I thought, they kind of tricked me in a way, and I'm pleased they did, but I was like, right, we're writing for Tim McGraw today. We're going to write Tim McGraw songs. We're going to send them to Tim McGraw.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how I was saying I am. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And thinking that I'd just like walk in the door, you know? And they're like, yeah, cool, Ben, sure, whatever you say. You go sing it. And I'm like, I go and sing them, and Jimmy sends me the bounces back, and they sound great, and I love them, and I love what he's done with the production. So I'm like, call my manager, Mark. I'm like, I'd love for Jimmy to produce this album. Who are the sisters and brothers that we want on it? You know, my friend Eleanor Moss, Jamie Squire, John Green, great piano player, and yeah, it was just cool, you know. And I wrote more than I needed for it. And at first, my reference for it was an album called Mid-Air by Paul Buchanan, which is an amazing minimal piano vocal string album by the singer of the Blue Nile. And then it got a bit wider from there. And the title Some Things Break just kind of happened because of that song. And but New York, I mean, that's a crazy story. The story of that song has got so out of hand.
Oh, gosh.
But I wrote it on Zoom with my friend Josh Finn. And we...
Also, I think it's crazy that you wrote it on Zoom, because when you listen to the song, it feels like you wrote it whilst being in New York.
Totally.
Like, it just,
Totally.
You get transported as a listener.
Well, my first ever trip to America, I remember going to New York for the first time on my first ever tour when I was like 20, you know, and it was just like a wild experience being there, and it's like very overwhelming. You know, the song's about being away, going to big cities for shiny things, and then missing the brokenness and the humanity and the imperfection of what, and like the reality of what one has left behind. And yeah, we wrote that song on Zoom really quick, and I just did a voice memo of it, and then texted it to another friend of ours who encouraged it. And yeah, I really love that song.
It's such an amazing song.
Thank you. It was fun playing it.
Yeah.
It was fun playing it. It's intense thinking about these things sometimes, but yeah, it's that one came quick. You know, we wrote it in like 2 hours, and you know, it started as a joke, that song. I was living with my girlfriend during the pandemic, and it started as kind of like a joke, and I was just playing like doing like a joke country thing on my guitar, impersonating someone, and then I was like, oh, that's actually cool, can you record that? And then she sent it to me, and I refound it and rediscovered it and loved it.
So great.
Yeah.
You know, obviously people are going to be watching this, listening, oh my gosh, what have you got coming up? Where can I see you? Where can I find you?
Yeah.
Obviously the tour is happening now. But what other things like are you looking forward to this year to do?
Oh, I'm just looking forward to writing more songs and, you know, playing more shows, hopefully. And I'm going to Nashville again. I've been spending a lot of time there writing songs. So I'm just looking forward to writing with more artists and writing songs and trying to, you know, stay out of it. And I'm looking forward to the Euros.
Oh, that's going to be
I think, is the Euros this year? I'm pretty sure.
I think it is this
isn't it?
year.
I'm looking forward to Leeds getting promoted to Premiership, God willing.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You know, so I'm looking forward to life. Sometimes I can't sleep, so I'm too excited for the next day.
I love that. That's
you know,
the best.
like truly,
That's
like
the best.
I'm happy. So, more songs, yeah, just more music. That's my plan. You know, like I'm so grateful to get to do this, and Nashville will be cool again. Maybe some more shows. We've got a few festivals in the summer, and I'm just looking forward to the journey, you know.
Love that. So you do a lot of gigs. You're on tour right now. What is one thing that has to be on your rider, or one thing that you like on your rider that you've not had before?
I mean, that's changed over the years. The rider used to be a bit of a bloodbath, I'm not going to lie. It was a bit savage back in the day.
Oh, why? What was on it?
Just things that were no good for me.
Okay, yeah, makes sense.
And I really like fizzy water.
Oh, really? Oh, you're a sparkling water guy.
Yeah. I really like fizzy water.
Fizzy water.
I like still water as well. You know, we get a lot of hummus. We get a lot of hummus on there as well.
Oh, I do like hummus. I'll take
carrots.
Hummus and
I play music in the dressing room. What else is on there? I think blueberries are on it this time.
Oh. Okay, fizzy
I feel like
water, blueberries, hummus and carrots.
Yeah, other things, some
Great.
tea. We get lemons, a bag of lemons, but we often don't get a knife.
Right,
So if I need lemon in my tea, I have to like claw into it with my own hands, you know what I mean? Or try and smash it against a wall. I've been known to do that kind of thing, or just bite into it and then squeeze it in. But no one has to see that. And we got a mad mix of things on the ride already.
I love that.
It's pretty. I live on the edge, you know. So
yeah, I love that.
Yeah. No
one's ever said that combo before. So
honestly, that's pretty much is what it is. They're laughing and say, no, it's true. But back in the day, it wasn't like that, you know. But I and the other side of the question, anything that I'd really love on there that isn't on there at the moment.
Take notes.
Oh, look, it's a bit bougie, but I wouldn't mind like some kind of rice bowl situation.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind. Some rice and some chicken and some salad. Brad's like, I'm sure you could sort that out. Yeah. But I don't like...
Love that.
I don't want to ask for too much.
That's good. I like
that. I don't like eating too close before I play as well. And I don't like waste, you know, so I'm half joking. But like, we just found on previous tours, we're getting so much stuff. There was like socks on there and toothpaste and weird stuff, you know, so it just got... I don't want to waste, you know, no one really touched it. To be honest, the way we tour, it's like, you know, we have a thing where we get a little bit of money each day and then people just go and do their own thing, or we'll go for dinner. Some of the venues, they give you food.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's simple.
I'll take you on the fizzy water.
Yeah, the fizzy water. The fizzy water's good, and it's simple. Yeah, nothing really it's just too much, you know. You just get in the van, then it ends up in the van, and it's like all crap all over the back of the van, you know.
Yeah.
It's too much, so simple. Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple, there we go. Well, so excited to see what the rest of the year has in store for you.
Thank you, mate. It's really good to talk to you.
It's been so nice to have you on so far. Make sure you go and check out Ben's From the Studio live session. There we go.